So I asked her if she would like to go on a vacation trip to a European country of her choice. And
Well, all right then.
and so we ended up, she decided on.
All right, guys, we gotta talk about a follow-up video from the Pop the Balloon show. Okay, so initially I'm gonna go ahead and play the viral moment of this couple, and then subsequently we're going to play the recap, okay, the potential of them actually going on a date. Okay, so let's go to roll the clip. Let's take a look.
Is it gonna be a yes for you for her?
Yes.
And is it a yes for you for him?
Yes.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's your host Arlette and we are here today with Eric and virtually Jocelyn. Welcome guys. How are we feeling
Hello.
today?
Yo, this whole setup is crazy right off the bat. Yo, she's not even in the studio. Okay, look at her face. She don't look impressed whatsoever. Right? Straight face. She got the whole blanket on. She ain't in the studio. I don't know, man. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Feeling good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Jocelyn, how are you?
I'm all right. Doing good. Thank you for asking.
Of course. So we did have you guys on episode, gosh, what episode was that? 12?
12, yeah.
Yeah, episode 12 of Pop the Balloon or Find Love, where you guys did end up matching. Obviously, since you guys have matched on the show, have you guys gone on a date? Have you hung out? All that good stuff?
Yeah, we've gone on multiple dates.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You said multiple.
So far, so
Multiple
good.
dates, yeah.
Oh, Jocelyn, you want to hop in there? Let me know about how the first date went.
The first day was really cool. It was right after we had the recording there. We went to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay. Who chose that spot?
I tried to take her, I was looking for a nicer restaurant,
Okay.
but I was really impressed with the fact that she was just happy to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, which I think that told me a lot about her initially. You know,
Okay.
it just says that, yeah, you know, I'm just chill and you don't have to try to impress me.
God. Okay, so she chose Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, well, she saw it and she was like, yeah, let's just go
Oh,
there. So,
okay. And then so this was right after the shooting, you said?
yeah.
Okay. And then from there, like, how did things go? How'd you guys, like, how was the communication? How'd you go about planning the second date?
Let me let her speak.
Jocelyn?
Yo.
I'm sorry. So after that, we kept in contact. It was a lot of FaceTiming and a lot of just a lot of communication because we live in different states, different time zones, and we also have different schedules as well. So we kept in contact as much as possible. I would call him in the mornings. He would call me between his appointments, like whenever he was working.
Appointments.
What is it called?
Appointments.
Yeah, so he would call me between. So whenever we had time, we would contact each other, and it worked very well. Our second date was to Dave and Buster's, I believe. I think our second date was Dave and Buster's. He came to Austin, and we had a great time. Yeah.
Okay. So how soon after did you go over to Austin?
Well, we matched on the 1st of June.
Okay.
And
Yo, I can't get past her face. I just can't. Like, look at it, right? She looks mad as heck. Somewhere, somehow, something went wrong. Okay, something went horribly wrong. I don't know what it is, but just looking at her body language, you know, she got her hands folded. She got the blanket over, so she's basically covering herself. Doesn't feel, I guess, comfortable. That's, you know, one way of kind of putting it. And she just seems upset overall. So hopefully they kind of get into it. But I mean, they've gone on multiple dates based on what he's saying. And, you know, based on the FaceTime video that you guys just saw not too long ago, she was laughing and, you know, they were having a good time. So I'm curious to see what went wrong, but let's keep going.
spent 2 weeks on FaceTime getting to know each other, asking questions and all that stuff. And then I was traveling, you know, working. And so we ended up, I ended up coming to Austin, I think, on the 26th.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah. Was it 26th? 24th to 26th or so, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And then just spent
Okay.
the week beforehand we were gonna do something else.
Okay, so the whole week you were out there in Austin, you guys were kind of like going out, doing different things.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so Dave and Buster's was one of them that you did out there.
Dave and Buster's was the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What any other fun stuff?
Well, she showed me some places that she was fond of. Some place by the it's like a river. What's the name of that river place that we went to?
It's like Lady Bird Lake. It was like a boardwalk. It was pretty nice. He bought Capri. Capri's like really cool, yeah.
Yeah. She's allergic to Capri, by the way.
Uh-oh.
I am.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
I got hives. It was actually really bad.
Oh no.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how allergies work with, like, pets and stuff.
Immediately.
Immediately.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I broke out in hives after Capri like touched me. It was
Okay, so it was like he had. Sorry, is it a boy or a girl?
That's a girl.
A girl. Okay, so so she had to like
think
touch
that's
you in
his
order for that
dog.
to happen, or was like just like being in the same area.
I really truly it's never happened to me before. Capri,
Oh my
like I really don't know how it happened. I was just playing with Capri. Next thing you know, I have like hives all over my arms and my legs. So
Did you have to go to urgent care or like it?
I
What?
thugged it out. I thugged it out a little bit. When I went home, I took a Benadryl and was knocked out. So it was cool.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad.
Got it. So that was the first and last time meeting Capri.
Yes. Oh no. Well, I think you've been around Capri since, right?
Okay.
Probably. I don't know.
You came to the Airbnb to pick me up and stuff, so you would see her at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it happened again, or you popped a Benadryl beforehand?
No, I kept her away.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, so how was the time in Austin? Like, how was it? Like the time spending with each other, all that stuff.
It was cool. So I think he were downtown. I don't really want to give like where I live, but he was like downtown.
No, don't.
Yeah, he was a little bit further away from where I was staying. So whenever I got
Okay.
off of work, I would come down and see him. I
Having
think
a
we
good
hung
time?
out every day for the most part.
Yeah, give or take a couple of days. Well, there was one day actually, I think,
One day, what?
because you had to go to Houston. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh.
My life, that's a story for another day. But yeah, I had to go to Houston. No, ever since this show aired, a lot of things have been happening. But I did have to go to Houston like one night, and then I came back, and that's the day I didn't see him. But other than that night, yes, I saw him every day.
Like every other day. Wow. Okay, sounds like you guys are spending a lot of time getting to really know each other, all that good stuff. Okay, and then so the week in Austin.
Right.
After that, have you guys kept communication? How was that going?
Yeah. So about 2 weeks in, I was very excited. We were getting to know each other. I had lists and lists upon lists of questions, and every time I met her up, I would ask her all these questions, just trying to get to know her.
Okay.
And I felt like we had a genuine connection, and it really hit me the fact that she wasn't really interested in like going to like nice places and was just happy to do regular things. So I thought it would be nice to do something special for her.
Okay.
So I asked her if she would like to go on a vacation trip to a European country of her choice. And
Well, all right then.
and so we ended up. She decided on Santorini because she always wanted to go there. She'd never been there.
Okay.
And so
Let me know what you guys think about that. Okay, and again, yo, look at her face. Like every time I pause the video, her face is just screw face. Okay, so let's backtrack here. So they went on the show. They met on the show. They went on a date, and I guess he was liking the fact that she seemed low maintenance. Okay, she didn't seem like a gold digger where he had to shell out a whole bunch of money. And based off of that, he said to himself, okay, let me go ahead and surprise her by taking her on vacation. Okay, I'm just trying to play back his mindset. Me personally, I never would have done that, right? I'm just saying. Right? It is way too soon to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a woman that you just met 30 days ago. I'm just saying. Okay, I know, with the last follow-up video that I did. Somebody proposed, they got married, but things were clicking on all cylinders, okay? All cylinders. I think that was a whole new level of just clicking and meshing on all cylinders, okay? This specifically, I don't know if that was the same narrative for this specific example that we're viewing here, okay? And based on her face, things didn't go so well. It really didn't, but let's keep going.
After you guys, you said you got to know each other, speak all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Right away, you were like, all right, pick a European country.
Well,
like,
I was already traveling, so I was on the road. I'd been on the road for a month, and so I was nearing the end of it. And I thought it was coincidental that I was ending up in Austin, and she lived in Austin. So I was saying at the end of this trip, I also need a break. So so it just worked out that way. But
got it.
yeah, I just wanted to, have fun and go out and do something adventurous together.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Santorini, Greece. What made you pick that place? First of all, let me backtrack. Were you shocked that, someone who you just met was asking you like, girl, let me take you out of the country? Like, how was that?
It was definitely a shocking question. I haven't been asked that so early within knowing a person.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was a love bomb, but hey, I'm here for the delusion regardless. But I had a great time.
She said love bomb.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess obviously at that time, I know you said you don't want to say it was a love bomb, but obviously you were comfortable enough to be like, okay, I'll be okay with going out the country with him. Yeah. Okay. And then so once you guys, got to Greece, how was that? Like, first of all, how was traveling together? Because I know a lot of people are always like, man, traveling with someone really shows you how they are, all that stuff. Like, how was that?
That is, to be fair, why I did it.
Okay.
Was because we were getting to know each other. And so I was thinking to myself, it's not to say that we're speeding it up, but it's just to know for sure.
Okay.
And I've had this experience before, where you travel with someone, and through that experience, you get to really see, the literal shits and the metaphorical shits of who they are, and they get to see you as well. And so I think at that point, you can make more certain decisions.
I don't know if you need to travel with somebody and spend thousands of dollars to figure that out. I'm just saying, who knows? Y'all know me, I'm pretty frugal with my money. So, this could be first world problems. I don't know. But do you have to do that? Probably not. Okay. As he mentioned, he needed a vacation anyways. It's not like he wanted to take her as his primary reason. Based on what he's saying, he wanted a vacation, and he said, hey, do you want to come along and have a good time and get to know me? Okay, so I do understand where he's coming from that perspective. But again, do I need to shell out thousands of dollars to get to know somebody, to figure out who they really are? Probably not. Okay, probably not. But let's keep going.
So in the beginning, the traveling there, that was good for you guys. Like how, Jocelyn, I guess we'll start with you, Jocelyn. Uh-oh. She's shaking her head.
No, traveling there
Damn.
was great. We weren't really sitting next to each other all the time.
It's a booking error.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But overall, it was a great experience.
What, the traveling was a great experience, or the whole trip altogether?
I was specifically talking about the traveling there part. It was pretty cool. It was nice.
Okay.
It wasn't any issues traveling there.
Got it. Okay. So now once you guys have gone to Greece, did you guys have a whole itinerary planned? Who did the itinerary planning? I feel like you like to do that kind of stuff. Or
I deferred to her. I wanted to give her some options and see what she was into, but I think we tried to keep it loose so that every day would feel to some degree like a new adventure.
Yo, look like they're having a good time.
Okay, so you guys didn't do too many activities,
Good
or you
old
didn't
time.
plan too much? Kind of.
I had an idea of an activity for each day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but there was definitely food involved, restaurants,
so.
and, yeah, restaurant dates and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, walk me through the trip. Like, what'd you guys do? How did it go?
Well, the first day we just went to a restaurant down from where we were staying, and we had a very nice apartment overlooking the city. You know, could watch the sunrise, watch the sunset. It was really nice. We went on a boating trip to see some of the tinier islands,
Okay.
and yeah, I was just different restaurants.
Okay.
Really, yeah.
Nice.
Rented an ATV, and that's how we got around.
Very cool. So you had the ATV for the whole duration of the trip?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that was.
Yeah. No, over there you could just ride ATVs. You know, like
Wow.
yeah.
Because I know
cool.
like I haven't been to Greece, but
Yeah.
every time I look at Greece and other people's videos, I just see like a bunch of hills and houses on top of houses.
Yeah, no,
so
it's tough to navigate for sure.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, "Hey, how y'all ride an ATV out there?"
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
and obviously, Jocelyn, you chose the place. So, like, did you have things in mind already that you're like, okay, when we get there, we have to do this? And were you guys able to do them?
Yeah, everything I wanted to do, we did. There was this
Okay.
area, like this town called Oye or Oya. It's where most of the houses are white, but there's a few blue tops, like blue
Oh,
roofs.
I've seen that. Yeah.
That was the main thing I wanted to do. So we saw that, and it was nice. We watched the
Nice.
sunset from there.
Okay. And obviously, I can tell like with the viewers and everyone and here, I can feel that there's quite a lot of tension going on.
Yeah.
So, how did that
Big
trip
time.
end? Or
Arlette, why are you always trying to get to
Her leg is shaking, like literally, like if once I play this video here, her leg is shaking under that blanket, shaking, absolutely shaking. So let's get into it, but something to observe for sure.
I'm
Always trying
feeling
to
a
get to
lot of vibes right now, and I don't know if it happened on the trip, after the trip, or who wants to start it off?
We had our very first argument on the 29th.
Not you remembering the date.
Well, I'm a very detailed person.
Okay.
You know, I take a lot of notes. I try to be introspective, so like, yeah. It wasn't really a big deal, but should I talk about it or?
I would just like to say that we realized on this trip that we're not as compatible as we thought we were. We just had disagreements, and we just realized that we're great people, we're just not great for each other. And I personally would like to leave it at that.
Even I will be fair, I will be honest. I am to some degree stumped at the decision not to continue. And we've spent a lot of time throughout the argument working through, the reactions, but never really addressing the initial cause.
Okay.
And, it did start off with her just saying she wants to leave. And
The first disagreement, she said,
that was the
leaving.
second disagreement.
Oh,
The
okay.
first disagreement was when I came to her place.
Austin.
The first time, yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, I was staying at an Airbnb, but on the last day, I decided we were gonna go over there and pack and stuff. But everything was everywhere, messy. She seemed like she was doing a lot, so I wanted to step in and help. So I was going in to move some shoes around, and then she was reprimanded me, I guess is the way to say it, and just like that would piss her off for me to move stuff around. And so
Did you ask
Yo.
her before you just started moving
well,
stuff?
I didn't.
Okay.
But that's the thing is, I didn't want to make a big deal of it. She asked me to take the trash out,
Okay.
and I did. But I also felt like she had said to me that she would like to keep an open space, a safe space where I could just tell her things in the moment. So I think for me, it was also a good point to test that out. Is it okay for me to tell you that the way you're saying that to me made me feel some type of way?
Okay.
So
So obviously you guys worked through that
worked
one.
through it.
'Cause
Yeah.
You went to Greece afterwards still, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's saying that there were little signs there where they weren't seeing eye to eye on certain things. I mean, he said that they made up and, things were all good. But I'm pretty sure there were some things that he could kind of see and be like, I don't know, right? I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just speculating here, right? But I mean, this is a prime example why I say for you guys to do coffee dates, okay? I'm just saying, I mean, I get it, coffee dates are cheap, but it saves you the headache of spending thousands and thousands or hundreds of dollars on a woman where you guys are not potentially compatible. Okay, taking a woman to Greece or Jamaica, Cancun, or where have you does not guarantee that she's actually going to like you and you guys are going to be compatible. There's no benefit, in my opinion, until you figure out that, hey, this is my person, or we are compatible, we are building towards something, we're able to communicate effectively, there's reciprocity there. I know how she is when she gets mad or upset. We're able to come together, problem solve, and not go to bed upset. Okay, we have all those things in place. I've seen her in multiple lights where we're good. Okay, so again, the show aired, 30 days ago, what have you. I don't know if that's a reasonable amount of time to take somebody on a trip, especially when you guys don't live in the same state.
And we talked about it a bit at the airport, and then yeah, we went on a trip. Everything was great up until I think the fifth day or so. Yeah, I don't want to go into too many details, just out of respect to her as well.
Yeah.
But I think that at some point I also, she wants to go slow, which is fine. I was trying to be respectful of that as a boundary, but I felt that I'd been just going on at her speed for most of the time. So I also wanted to set some boundaries to help me respect her boundaries. So I think that's where the initial communication malfunction occurred, perhaps. And she, to backtrack, I when people argue, everyone argues a certain way. My way of calming down is to take breaks and move away and relax, write things down, and then come back and talk about them. And I told her this in the beginning. We were trying to figure out our argumentative styles. So when this happened, I took a break and I went to sit on a stoop, and and so while I was there just talking to a friend of mine, she sent me a text that she wanted to leave and asked if I could take her to the airport.
This is in Greece.
Yeah, that was in Greece, like about the fifth day or so. And so so I was just like, well, we have an ATV first of all, so I can't drive you to Greece. But I didn't want to do it. I said, if you want to go, you can go. But I asked her not to go. I said, just take a moment, calm down, relax, and then you can decide later on. So that was kind of where things started spiraling.
Wow. So she wanted to leave, right? This guy dropped the bag on her and she wanted to take off and leave before the trip even finished, right? That's painful. It really is, because I'm just thinking about all the money he spent, and hey, maybe it ain't nothing to him, but you gotta feel some type of way in that situation. Okay, you had the right intentions. You wanted to make her feel special. She can choose anywhere in Europe based on what he's saying, where you guys can go ahead and have a good time. Okay, renting ATVs and going on excursions and having fun. Come to find out, you guys have a little disagreement, and she's just saying, I'm out of here, right? I want to pack my stuff and leave. I mean, you got to really question that. You really do. But let's keep going.
Okay, so Jocelyn, Eric kind of touched on a bit that at one point during the trip, I believe you said on the 5th day, you said that, yeah, I'm leaving, all that stuff. What led you to come to that point?
What led me to come to that point was how we disagreed. We said words that were hurtful to each other. And I held grudges against him, which caused me to be uncomfortable while being there. And I didn't want to be uncomfortable on a vacation when it's supposed to be a good time. The way we handled the situation in general just showed ourselves. Like I showed off, he showed off, and then it just wasn't a comfortable environment to be in, especially for it to be in a different country and we don't really know each other. I just didn't feel at ease being there for more days with him. So I felt like at the time, the best way to get out of an uncomfortable situation is to leave. I'm not saying that was the best decision. Maybe I could have stayed and talked to him and talked it out. But at the time, I did what felt right to me.
Okay. And so you did actually end up leaving?
Yes, I left.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then so after you left, have you guys
Crazy.
been in any type of contact, any communication? You have?
Yeah, so after we left, Eric still had to come back to my apartment because we shared a suitcase coming there. So he still came back to my apartment. We talked it out. We hugged. Like we had like every discussion, every disagreement we had, we talked about off camera, and I've apologized. He's apologized. A lot of things were already discussed. So when he came back to the apartment, like it was fine. At least in my head, it was fine. I walked him to the door. It was cool. Like in my head, it was cool. And even afterwards, when he flew back to Las Vegas, I checked on him to make sure he landed safely, making sure he's getting sleep. He told me he's has more appointments. So we did keep in contact for the day after.
Here's the head scratcher for me. Okay, if you were so uncomfortable, and maybe you were, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you were uncomfortable or you felt uncomfortable in the moment. But if you were truly uncomfortable, she gives me the vibe where she would cut you off in a millisecond. Okay, she won't even hesitate to cut you off and never hear from her again if she truly believed that you did her dirty. Okay, that is the impression that I'm getting from her. And the fact that you had him in your house, he was able to collect his things. You messaged him once he left the state to figure out if he's okay, if he's getting sleep. So you're showing empathy there. I don't know if you were, I guess, quote unquote, uncomfortable to the level that you thought you were. Okay, maybe you were in the heat of the moment, emotions were kind of flaring, and maybe you just weren't thinking logical. Okay, that's what I'm kind of gathering here, but let me know what you guys think.
Jocelyn, you stated like, you guys were having disagreements. You were saying like hurtful things to one another, all of that. How was it like dealing with those disagreements?
It was aggravating. We were disagreeing on things we were disagreeing about the boundaries that we both set for each other, which is just very childish on both of our end. But after that, we chose to react off of our emotions at the time. So, in the morning time, I didn't really think that the situation was as bad as it was. But in the morning time, like Eric had like left, and I think you were doing laundry. I mean, he had things to do. I don't really want to say he was just up and left, but just that entire day, for the most part, we didn't really speak. It was either he was in the room and I was in the living room, or he was out shooting footage, or he was out doing laundry. So we just really weren't talking on the day after we had that huge disagreement. It was to the point, it was almost as if we were avoiding each other. And it was just weird.
So you got up the next day and just says,
well,
do your own
I
thing?
told her beforehand that I had to do laundry. I'd run out of clothes. I travel with a bag, So I went out to do laundry. I went out running 3 miles up the hill. I was tired. When I came back, I went to bed. But before I went to bed, we'd made a plan, something she wanted to go see about 5 p.m. or so.
Okay.
And I slept through it. And when I woke up, I asked her, hey, you still want to go do that thing? And she's like, no. So I was like, okay, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to go and shoot some pictures or something. I'd lost the key to to the apartment. So I had to go back and look for it. So that's what I did instead. So I was going back to the location where I'd run to. I found the key, I came back. And that's then where we had another set of conversations. Because she kind of called me to the couch and like, hey, what's going on? You know? And so I told her, I was like, nothing's wrong. I'm fine. I just feel like I have to be a bit more distant about cuddling and, you know, kissing, because it feels sometimes when I try to do it, it seems like you're uncomfortable. You kind of back away. You know, she wants to kiss, she doesn't want to make out, you know, things like that. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to be too overbearing. So I'm going to kind of create a little bit of a boundary, still want to go do things, you know, but she didn't wake me up, and she said that I should have set an alarm. So, you know, I called her passive. I said that was a passive statement because we're in this together. So, you know, wake me up. And yeah.
So all of this was before she said, I'm leaving?
No, she'd already said she was leaving in the afternoon.
Okay.
So she just decided. I mean, this is literally, I went outside to take a break. And she sent me a text, I'm going to the airport. It was so abrupt, it caught me off guard. So I was like, you know, like, what's this nonsense? The Nigerian in me came in, and I was like, you know, I don't understand what you mean you're leaving. Go take a break and relax. If you want to get an Airbnb, go get an Airbnb. You don't leave, you know, there's nothing to leave.
So how long did you guys have this trip booked for?
7 days.
7 days, okay. And then Jocelyn, you ended up leaving on the 5th day, or the 6th day, or what day was it?
Was it the 4th? Was it the 5th day?
6th.
I left on the 6th day? Okay.
You left on the 6th day, yeah.
I see. Okay, so with him, with that
This
thing
is
you guys
rough.
wanted to do, you didn't want to just like wake him up, or what was going on with that part?
So, we already knew that there was tension before then. Before he took the nap, before everything, like the big argument happened the day before. So when he went to sleep, I don't know, it's like, I don't really know how to explain it. I could have woken him up, to answer your question. I could have woken him up. However, it was already talked about what I wanted to do. It was already a time that we set. I don't know. I'm just considerate. So if I would have done that to somebody else, or somebody else would have planned something that they really wanted to do and they're dependent on me for transportation, I would have made sure that I was present for that moment. And I never woke Eric up ever. I don't wake people up out of their sleep. I would hate for somebody to wake me up out of my sleep. We actually talked about this as well. Like, that's something that we just don't do.
Oh, that's different.
I don't wake people up. That's one thing I don't like. If you oversleep, like, you oversleep. Like, it wasn't a life or death situation.
What it sounds like here is that she's being kind of petty. I'm just keeping it real, right? She's being petty in this situation. And who knows, maybe he was petty as well. Maybe she's trying to match his pettiness in regards to what was going on behind the scenes. I don't know, right? I'm just making assumptions here, but I mean, come on. If he said that he was going to do something, you know that he was running 3 kilometers or 3 miles, as he mentioned. And, you know, he's tired and he sleeps through the time that he said that he was going to wake up. Wake him up. Right? Hey, you know, wake up. Do you still want to do that thing? Okay, you do. Okay, great. Let's get ready. Okay, you don't. No problem. Let's go ahead and do something else later on. You know, we're on vacation. It's Greece. We're having a good time, right? It is what it is, right? That's kind of the attitude that you should have had kind of going into this. So it is possible with her personality. It seems like she's a little bit petty, if I'm being completely honest. And a little rigid as well. And, you know, who knows? That could very well be Eric's personality as well. You know, he's very structured and detail orientated. He likes things a certain way. That's kind of what I'm gathering. And it seems like it might be a better fit for him to be with a woman or to date a woman that's a little bit more free in regards to, the way she thinks, and she's not holding grudges. She's not being petty. She's a little bit more pliable in regards to her way of thinking, and she's a little bit more flexible with her approach and just kind of rolling with the punches, so to speak. Okay, it seems like he needs a woman that's a little bit more bubbly, if you will. But who knows? Let me know what you guys think.
He overslept and he overslept. I was upset back in the day, like we didn't go to something I wanted to do. Okay, like it was fine.
So would you say like that was like the last straw for you, him oversleeping?
No, the last straw was the day before. I don't really know. So with me, it's like once my mind is made up on something, it's pretty much made. So when I booked the flight, it was kind of like already like anything he did after that was kind of like, okay, I see. And I'm leaving soon anyway.
On this 7-day trip, or 6, I think you said you left on the 6th, on what day did you realize, yeah, this is it for me, I'm done?
That's a great question. It wasn't, let me see, give me a second. I don't really remember what day it was when it hit me like I'm done. It was just a feeling that I had when I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not arguing anymore. I'm not being upset anymore. It wasn't necessarily, oh, this day I got mad. It was just really like a feeling like I don't want to feel like this. I don't have to feel like this, So that's really what happened. I don't know what day that was. I really don't know. It was probably the day I booked the flight, to be honest. But I just had a feeling. I'm like, I don't want to argue with this man anymore. I don't want to be uncomfortable in a foreign country with this man anymore. So that's really what it was. But afterwards, I didn't want to have a dating relationship with Eric anymore because I think Eric can still be a great person. So I was hoping that we can have a platonic, just cordial friendship afterwards. I know I didn't want to date him anymore, but I didn't want it to be as if he's out of my life completely, because he is cool. Like, Eric is a cool guy. Like, honestly, he's cool. He has a lot of skills, plays instruments. He's a really cool guy, honestly. He has a lot of great qualities about himself. I just didn't want to date him anymore. So, yeah.
Okay. Eric, anything you want to add to that? If we could just wrap this up.
I take notes, so I have the dates. July 5th was the day we went to dinner. It was the day that we had a conversation. You asked me to tell you what my expectations were of you. I told you that I would like more hugs. I said you're bad at hugs. Remember that? So she said, yeah, I'm going to work on that, And I told her that I felt like every time I gave her hugs, maybe she was feeling like it was trying to lead to something else. I'm like, no, the hug is really just a hug. Like, just put your arm around my head, and that's all it needs to be, And so she's like, yeah, I'll do better, and that was that. The dinner.
Yo, if you have to coach a woman how to hug you, she's probably not into you. I'm just saying, right? Because if a woman saw her favorite celebrity, Chris Brown, in front of her, y'all see the photos that Chris Brown is doing on tour where women are spending $1,000 and bear hugging Chris Brown, okay, wrapping their legs around. Like, if a woman is into you and she likes you, like, you don't have to try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to coach her on how to hug you and the subtle touches, so on and so forth. So who knows? Maybe that's her personality. Okay, maybe she's not a very touchy kind of person. That could very well be the case. That might not be her love language, so to speak. Generally speaking, if a woman is into you, you shouldn't have to teach her how to hug you and, you know what I'm saying. But let's keep going.
The next morning is when I went for the run early, and I wake up early, I go for the run. So when I came back, she wanted to have a conversation that afternoon because she said things were seeming weird and I seemed distant. So I was trying to explain to her why I was distant. First of all, I was tired, but second of all, I'm just trying to give you some some space, and I don't want to feel like I'm overcrowding you, essentially. And it was literally within 20 minutes of that conversation, she'd send me the text, "Can you take me to the airport?" So it came out of nowhere, literally.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, after this trip, did you guys, I know you said, did you guys communicate at all after this trip, or was she left and that was it? I think you had mentioned you guys shared a suitcase, so eventually you had to see him again. So how did that happen?
It was cool. Like, honestly, so from everything that we just expressed to us getting back to Austin, we had conversation. Everything seemed fine. We came to understanding that we both said things that didn't need to be said. We both did things that didn't need to be done. Like, we've had conversations and everything was fine in my eyes. I thought everything was fine. When we got back to Austin, we talked about the trip. We said our goodbyes. He got his stuff, walked him to the door. He left. Yeah, and the next day he took a flight. I checked on him. I was like, "Hey, are you at the airport? Did you make it there on time?" He was like, "Yeah." It was just regular. It was regular conversation, as if you're checking in on a person who's taking a flight. That's really what it was. I made sure he landed.
But meanwhile, I was like, "Why are you checking in on me after you've just walked away from me?" You know, like I'm like, the thing was weird to me because I was like, if this is a simple disagreement two people can have, we've apologized to each other, so we continue. It's 2 arguments. It's not enough to decide you don't want to speak to someone anymore.
So in your head, after that trip and, after she was checking in on you, you were still in the thought process that you guys were still dating?
After the I'm sorry, I forgive you, I forgive you, I thought, okay, yeah, we're back on track. We've sorted it out.
Okay.
So
so how did you find out that you guys are no longer dating?
Well, she sent me some pictures to edit. I edited the pictures. I sent them back to her. She went to London, which we by the way, we had a whole day because she booked the trip at 6 p.m. on the 6th. So we had still the whole day to spend together. We were sitting on the couch. We were cuddling on the couch.
This
finally.
is in Austin?
No, this was still. This
so
was
you're
the day after.
backtracking back to
I'm
Greece.
backtracking, yeah. So she's already had a decision to leave. She's already bought the tickets. There's nothing we can do about that.
Okay.
We've apologized to each other. She's more calm. I'm more calm. So from that point on, I'm like, okay, well, maybe everything's fine.
Okay.
So the next day, when the day the 6th, yeah, the day she's leaving, we're still cuddling on the couch. Like we watched a movie together. We went to breakfast. So that's where the confusion is, because it's like, if you're that angry, why are you so comfortable still being next to me, still cuddling with me? See what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it just creates a lot of confusion
so then,
for me.
From Austin to Las Vegas, she said, obviously she's checking on you, make sure you get there okay. In your head, everything's still good.
No, when I got to her apartment, I had to ask her one last time. I'm like, tell me straightforward. Are we still good? Are we not good? Are we not dating?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I have no interest in further dating. So I was like, all right, sounds good. I won't bring it up anymore.
Got
and
it.
from
So that was the last point.
From that point on, yeah, it was done. But the next morning, she's still checking on me on my flights. So again, see what I'm saying? I'm like, if we're done, why are you checking on me?
I mean, she said she thinks you're a cool person.
I understand, but
You're a human
I'm
being
not.
that she
I'm
cared
not
for at
looking.
one point.
I'm not looking for no friends. I got plenty female friends that are just my friends.
Okay.
So it's like, if we're not dating, like,
So you
It's
wanna
done.
just
cut the
It's a wrap.
losses and move
turkey,
on.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah, which is what I tried to do. I just didn't respond anymore, and I was just, just letting it fizzle out. It's only been a month. That's not, anyone can recover from that. There's no hard emotional investment.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously
It's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much everything I had. Any final thoughts on your end? No, Jocelyn's like, no. All right. So any upcoming projects that we should be on the lookout from either one of you? Jocelyn?
No, I don't have any upcoming projects coming up. Nothing.
Okay. She said, I'm going to stick to my 9 to 5. That's it.
Yeah, I got a 9 to 5. That's it. That's all I got going
Hey, we
right
love
now.
that too.
Yeah.
And then Eric, what about for yourself?
Nothing. Just still on the road, traveling, doing my training.
Okay.
Yeah, simple.
All right. Well, I do thank you both for coming on today. You know,
All right, guys, so there you have it. Okay, so they basically squeezed 2 years into 30 days in regards to going back and forth, arguing, making up, going on vacation, coming back. They weren't a good fit. I mean, that's what it boils down to. It doesn't seem like she's very interested in him, if I'm being completely honest. He has to teach her how to hug him, and these little nuances that should be second nature. Like, you shouldn't have to do certain things. I think, in my opinion, although Eric was, you know, moving with good intentions, and I do like Eric, let's be clear. I think he's a cool guy, but he probably was moving a little bit fast, or maybe just rolling the dice to say, hey, okay, you know, she seems like a cool girl. We got along on the first couple of dates. Doesn't seem like she's a gold digger. She seems to be a little bit different compared to the other women that I've encountered. I need a vacation. I've been on the road for quite some time. Let me go ahead and roll the dice, and who knows, right? Maybe this thing may work out. And unfortunately for him, it didn't. Okay, he learned very quickly that, you know, based on the information that is presented to us here, it seems like she might be a little bit over emotional when it comes to handling certain things. Okay, her emotions are kind of getting the best of her when it comes to conflict, resolving issues, resolving conflict. And, you know, we get it. Majority of women don't like conflict, generally speaking. But in a relationship, conflict is going to happen. Things are going to pop up. You guys are going to have disagreements. How do you handle those disagreements when there's conflict? What do you do? Do you fold? Do you communicate? Do you problem solve? Do you find solutions? What do you do? And I think any couple, okay, should figure that out, really. Okay, you as a man, you're out here trying to date a woman. You should figure out who she really is when it comes to all aspects of her emotions. How is she when she's happy, sad, sleepy, dopey, everything, okay? How does she, you know, handle things when she's upset, angry, so on and so forth, okay? You need to know the full spectrum of how she is. And, you know, unfortunately for him, he spent a bit of change on her, okay? He spent a bag, if you will. He just needs a woman that's a little bit more carefree, okay? Not zodiacs and crystals carefree, but somebody that can get on his program, okay? What he got going on and the way he wants to kind of structure the relationship. It takes a special kind of woman to follow a man. It really does. Let me know what you guys think. Provide me some feedback, and until next time.